John Francis Dodge and his younger brother Horace Dodge were born in the small town of Niles, Michigan, in the mid-19th century. Their early life was humble, shaped by the strong work ethic of their father, Daniel Rugg Dodge, who owned a foundry and machine shop. From a young age, the boys were immersed in the world of tools, machines, and metalwork, learning the intricate crafts that would later define their legacy. While John was outgoing and socially confident, Horace was more reserved and introspective, balancing each other perfectly as brothers and partners. They were inseparable throughout childhood, always working together and sharing a relentless curiosity about mechanics and engineering. As teenagers, John and Horace moved with their family to Detroit, a city on the rise fueled by industrial ambitions. There, they found work in local factories, honing their mechanical skills in boiler plants and machining shops. Their early employment included time at the Murphy Boiler Works and Canadian Typograph Company, where their talent for precision machining began to gain recognition. The brothers' natural abilities, supplemented by hard work and determination, allowed them to quickly rise above ordinary laborers to become skilled machinists and inventors. Horace's inventive mind led him to patent a unique, dirt-proof ball bearing, which would prove pivotal in their future ventures. By the late 1890s, John and Horace embarked on entrepreneurial ventures of their own, initially in bicycle manufacturing. They partnered with investors to produce bikes equipped with the innovative bearing Horace had developed. These early success stories in bicycles laid the financial and reputational foundation for the Dodge brothers. In the year 1900, leveraging the profits and experience gained, they opened their own machine shop in Detroit. The shop specialized in manufacturing parts for the fledgling automobile industry, which was rapidly transforming America with its promise of speed, freedom, and modernity. Their reputation for quality and reliability grew quickly, culminating in a landmark contract with the Olds Motor Vehicle Company in 1902 to supply thousands of transmissions. This early success established the Dodge brothers as top-tier industrial craftsmen. However, the most consequential deal came the very next year, when they agreed to build engines and transmissions for Henry Ford's new motor company. This partnership was transformational. The Dodges supplied the vital mechanical components powering the Model A and later the legendary Model T. Their competence and precision allowed Ford to mass-produce cars efficiently and cheaply, changing the landscape of transportation worldwide. The Dodge brothers thrived as Ford's trusted suppliers, expanding their operations and employing thousands of workers. By 1910, they had built a massive manufacturing plant in Hamtramck, Michigan, the largest of its kind dedicated to automobile parts. The scale of work was staggering. Over $500,000 invested in machinery, tooling, and production capacity. Yet, despite building millions of engines and transmissions, the Dodge brothers remained invisible figures behind Ford's overwhelming success. Their ambitions stretched beyond making parts for another man's dream. They sought to build their own empire. Despite their growing wealth and industrial might, the brothers never forgot the modest beginnings and hardships that had paved their way. They were known for their direct, no-nonsense approach, often clashing socially with Detroit's elite due to their rough manners and excessive drinking habits. Still, their integrity in manufacturing and business dealings earned them wide respect in the industrial community. Horace invested in grand achievements such as the construction of Rose Terrace, a mansion symbolizing their success, but also reflecting their distinct personal styles. John took on crucial roles within the Ford Motor Company, even serving as vice president for several years. The arc of their journey is a quintessential American story of grit, skill, and vision. It is a tale of two brothers whose mechanical genius and business acumen reshaped the automobile industry and laid the groundwork for one of the most iconic automotive brands in history. Their early years were more than just the formative period. They were the crucible that forged industrial titans destined to challenge even Henry Ford himself. As the stage was set for their own venture into automobile manufacturing, the foundation of their legacy was built on blueprints, engines, and the sweat of hard work that began in a small machine shop in Niles, Michigan. In the year 1903, an unlikely partnership took shape that would alter the course of automotive history. John and Horace Dodge, skilled machinists with a reputation for quality and precision, caught the attention of a determined young entrepreneur named Henry Ford. At the time, Ford had recently launched his fledgling company with ambitions to revolutionize transportation by producing affordable cars for the masses. However, Ford's company lacked the manufacturing muscle needed to build the engines and transmissions that would power his vehicles. Recognizing this gap, Ford forged an agreement with the Dodge brothers to supply 650 complete chassis, including engines, transmissions, and axles, at the price of $250 each. This bold contract set the Dodge brothers exclusively on the path to building components for Ford's vision, marking the beginning of a complex and lucrative alliance. The agreement not only included a supply contract but also a strategic business investment. The Dodges received a 10% stake in the newly incorporated Ford Motor Company formed on June 16, 1903. This made them not merely vendors but equity partners in what would soon become an industrial empire. The deal allowed Ford to secure much-needed credit and manufacturing capacity, while the Dodge brothers gained stable, high-volume work and influential corporate footing. Ford's initial Mack Avenue plant was primarily an assembly facility, depending heavily on suppliers like the Dodges for parts production. It was a symbiotic relationship. Ford brought design and mass-market dreams, while the Dodges delivered the engineering precision and manufacturing expertise. The partnership flourished as demand for the newly introduced Model A, and soon the groundbreaking Model T, began to soar. By 1910, the Dodge brothers had expanded to a sprawling facility in Hamtramck, Detroit, employing thousands of workers and producing hundreds of thousands of transmission and axle sets. Their manufacturing prowess was critical in enabling Ford to pioneer the moving assembly line and mass car production, reshaping the entire global automotive industry. Yet, despite their massive contribution and financial success, the Dodge brothers remained behind the curtain, invisible architects in a story largely dominated by Ford's towering public persona. However, the alliance was not without its cracks. Though they held shares and corporate titles, John Dodge briefly served as a Ford director and vice president. The brothers were wary of their dependency on Ford's company. Rumblings of discontent began to surface as Ford's vision shifted away from maximizing shareholder profits toward reinvesting earnings into expansion and worker welfare. The Dodges sensed a growing rift with Ford's management philosophy and his increasingly tight hold on company decisions. By 1914, the Dodge brothers gave formal notice that they would terminate their exclusive supply contract with Ford and would pursue their own ambitions in automobile manufacturing. John Dodge resigned from Ford's board the same year, but the brothers smartly retained their valuable stock holdings. This moment marked the end of an era. Yet, it was also the genesis of a new chapter where the Dodge brothers would step out from the shadows to build their own legacy as full-fledged automotive pioneers. By the early 1910s, the Dodge brothers had become the largest parts manufacturers in the rapidly expanding Detroit automotive scene. Their sprawling Hamtramck factory was a behemoth of production, employing thousands and churning out essential engine components, transmissions, and axles. While Henry Ford's name was on the cars, the Dodge brothers were the mechanical heart beating inside millions of vehicles. Despite these massive contributions, the brothers owned zero automobiles bearing their own name, bound by contracts that kept them as suppliers rather than makers. Their business model was straightforward but limiting: manufacture the best components possible for other companies' vehicles. This position, while financially lucrative and stable, frustrated the brothers' entrepreneurial spirit. They had witnessed firsthand the soaring success Ford achieved by innovating not just in engineering, but also in branding and corporate strategy. The Dodge brothers absorbed these lessons, realizing that to leave a lasting mark, they needed to step out of Ford's shadow and into the spotlight themselves. The irony was thick. The Dodge brothers were the trusted backbone of America's most iconic car, yet had no independent stake in the booming automotive market beyond their supplier status. They held valuable shares in Ford Motor Company, and John Dodge even served briefly as a director and vice president. Nonetheless, these roles did not satisfy their hunger to build an empire on their own terms. They saw the limits of relying on a single partner, particularly one as unpredictable and powerful as Henry Ford, whose eccentric management style and philosophy increasingly clashed with their profit-driven mindset. As the decade progressed, the brothers invested heavily in research and development, honing their expertise in metallurgy, machining efficiency, and assembly line processes. They expanded their industrial footprint, acquiring vast manufacturing space and attracting talented engineers. Yet, their name remained absent from the badges gracing the cars cruising the streets. This chapter of their story explores the complexities of being giants hidden behind another's brand, the brewing ambitions to break free, and the groundwork laid for the Dodge brothers' own automotive revolution. By 1914, the relationship between the Dodge brothers and Henry Ford had reached a critical juncture. Though their partnership had been mutually beneficial for over a decade, tensions began simmering beneath the surface. Henry Ford's philosophy increasingly diverged from the profit-driven principles the Dodges held dear. Ford's revolutionary decision to reduce car prices, improve wages, and reinvest profits into company growth reflected his vision of a democratized automobile, but it came at a cost, diminishing dividends for shareholders like the Dodge brothers. Ford's reluctance to distribute profits frustrated the Dodges, who had risked everything to build Ford's vast manufacturing empire. Their fortunes depended heavily on dividends paid out from Ford Motor Company, and Ford's reinvestment priorities left them feeling sidelined. Matters escalated as Ford began publicly proclaiming his disdain for shareholder wealth, famously declaring that he intended to run his company for the benefit of all, rather than to enrich stockholders. This rhetoric, while noble in its social aims, alienated the Dodges and other investors who saw their financial returns evaporate. The stark contrast between Ford's idealism and the brothers' pragmatic outlook created an irreconcilable divide. Behind closed doors, the Dodge brothers planned their exit strategy, aiming to assert control over their own destiny by launching a competing automobile brand. Their growing industrial muscle and financial resources gave them the confidence to sever ties with Ford, despite the risks involved. This chapter explores the growing fissures in the once solid partnership, highlighting the clash of visions, greed, and loyalty that soon erupted into one of the most dramatic family and business conflicts in American corporate history. As tensions peaked, the brothers quietly began building plans to transform their parts manufacturing empire into a full-fledged automaker. By mid-year, they had raised $5 million through public stock sales, demonstrating immense market confidence in the Dodge brand independent of Ford. This financial maneuver sent a clear message. The Dodge brothers were ready to step out of the shadows and claim their place in the automotive sun. The following months would witness the birth of a new era, one marked by fierce competition, bitter legal battles, and the relentless ambition of two men determined to control their own fate. In 1916, the simmering tensions between the Dodge brothers and Henry Ford erupted into a landmark legal battle that would reverberate through American corporate law for generations. The core of the dispute was the withholding of dividends by Ford, who had chosen to reinvest the company's earnings into expansion and social initiatives rather than distribute profits to shareholders. John and Horace Dodge, sizable stockholders and business partners, saw this as a betrayal of their financial interests and a breach of fiduciary duty. They took the bold and unprecedented step of suing Ford Motor Company and Henry Ford himself to claim the dividends they believed were rightfully theirs. The lawsuit, brought before the Michigan Supreme Court, exposed the fundamental conflict between Ford's vision of corporate governance and the traditional shareholder model. Ford argued that the company's surplus funds should be used for broader social benefit, including higher worker wages and affordable car prices, not personal enrichment of investors. The Dodge brothers, however, insisted that a corporation must serve the interests of its shareholders first and foremost, an argument grounded in the principles of capitalism and property rights. This clash was not merely about money. It represented a much larger ideological battle over the purpose and control of industrial wealth. As the court deliberated, The Dodge brothers' legal team presented compelling evidence of Ford's stockpile of over $60 million in surplus, a vast treasure trove they claimed should have been paid out as dividends. The proceedings were marked by dramatic testimonies and public fascination, shining a harsh spotlight on Ford's unconventional management style. In a decision that would set a landmark precedent, the Michigan Supreme Court ruled largely in favor of the Dodges, awarding them $19 million in dividends. This ruling emphasized the rights of minority shareholders and reinforced the legal expectation that corporate officers must balance the interests of shareholders in financial matters. The fallout from the case was monumental. Ford was forced to distribute dividends, and it marked a turning point in corporate governance law in the United States. For the Dodge brothers, the legal victory was both a personal and financial triumph, solidifying their status as formidable industrialists capable of standing toe-to-toe with the titan they helped build. The court battle also underscored the expanding power and influence of shareholder rights, shaping how American corporations would be managed for decades. Beyond the courtroom, however, the rift between Ford and the Dodge brothers widened irreparably, setting the stage for their eventual departure from their longtime business partner and the launch of their own automotive brand. In the summer of 1914, John and Horace Dodge took a monumental step that would forever alter their destiny and the automotive landscape. After more than a decade of building engines, transmissions, and axles for the likes of Henry Ford and Oldsmobile, the brothers decided to launch their own car company. This was no small gamble. They were stepping out from behind the shadows of giants to compete directly in a fast-growing, fiercely competitive market. On July 17th, they incorporated Dodge Brothers Motor Company and raised $5 million by selling stock publicly, an ambitious move signaling their intent to become more than just parts suppliers. The brothers meticulously applied the lessons learned from years supplying Ford, a man famous for his relentless pursuit of efficiency and cost-cutting. Dodge Brothers designed a car that was rugged and reliable, markedly different from the Model T's economy fetish. The first Dodge model, introduced on November 14, 1914, was noted for its all-steel body, the first American car mass-produced with such a durable construction. Its robust four-cylinder engine, delivering 35 horsepower, ran on a 110-inch wheelbase, positioning the vehicle as a dependable, upscale alternative in the burgeoning automobile market. Despite producing fewer than 250 cars by the end of 1914, the Dodge Brothers car was praised for its engineering excellence. The price tag of $785 was higher than the Model T's, but justified by superior materials, craftsmanship, and performance. The brothers were aiming beyond the mass market, targeting customers seeking quality and longevity rather than sheer affordability. By 1915, with expanded production and a newly introduced Roadster model, sales exploded to over 45,000 vehicles, a staggering achievement that placed Dodge as the third-largest automaker in the United States. The entrepreneurial leap was transformative. The transition from parts manufacturer to automaker was not merely a change of product. It was a reinvention of identity and ambition. The Dodge brothers had successfully carved out a brand that was synonymous with strength, durability, and mechanical excellence. Their bold gamble paid off handsomely, laying the foundation for an automotive empire that would soon rise to challenge and surpass many established competitors. This chapter chronicles the tense but exhilarating birth of Dodge Brothers Motor Company, a story of vision, risk, and unparalleled industrial craftsmanship. The Dodge Brothers car was a marvel of engineering and design that stood out strongly against the ubiquitous Model T Ford. Introduced in 1914, the Dodge vehicle broke new ground as the first American car mass-produced with a robust all-steel body, crafted by the renowned Edward G. Budd Manufacturing Company. This construction not only provided superior durability but also marked a shift away from the flimsy wooden frames that had dominated the early automotive industry. The Dodge car's reputation for ruggedness and reliability quickly spread, attracting customers who demanded a vehicle capable of enduring harsh conditions and long journeys. Powering this groundbreaking chassis was a four-cylinder engine producing 35 horsepower, significantly more than the Model T's 20. This extra muscle translated to better performance and the ability to handle more demanding terrain and loads. The vehicle also featured a true 3-speed transmission and a 110-inch wheelbase, providing a smoother and more comfortable ride. Electrical systems were modern for the time, sporting a 12-volt setup that enhanced the car's starting reliability and lighting. More than a machine, the Dodge car was a symbol of mechanical excellence, meticulously engineered and built to last. Unlike the annual style changes that became a hallmark of later American cars, the brothers believed in building vehicles that stood the test of time rather than chasing cosmetic trends. This approach resonated with buyers, as Dodge vehicles held their value exceptionally well. Used Dodges often commanded premium prices in secondary markets, a testament to their longevity and dependable engineering. The Dodge brothers' obsessive attention to quality extended to every bolt and gear, a philosophy that paid dividends in customer satisfaction and brand loyalty. This was not just a car. It was a durable partner on the road, an embodiment of the brothers' commitment to craftsmanship. The engineering prowess of Dodge also extended beyond passenger cars. During the First World War, their vehicles became the standard for the military's light wheel transport. Over 12,000 Dodge cars and light trucks served valiantly as ambulances, repair vehicles, and staff cars. This extraordinary performance earned Dodge accolades for durability and reinforced the brand's image as America's most dependable automobile. The Dodge car's blend of power, engineering sophistication, and rugged build distinguished it as a technological tour de force, helping propel the brand to second place among American automakers by 1920. The rise of Dodge Brothers Motor Company was nothing short of extraordinary, a true testament to the daring vision and relentless drive of John and Horace Dodge. After launching their first car in late 1914, the company swiftly carved out a prominent place in the rapidly growing American automobile market. By 1915, Dodge had ascended to become the third best-selling car brand in the United States. This rapid success was fueled by the company's reputation for rugged, reliable vehicles and their strategic focus on quality over cheap mass production. Customers who sought an alternative to Ford's Model T found Dodge's engineering and build quality compelling reasons to make the switch. World War I provided an unexpected boost to the Dodge brothers' fortunes. The military placed substantial orders, purchasing nearly 12,000 Dodge vehicles, primarily ambulances and light trucks, to support wartime logistics and medical services. The company swiftly converted parts of their factory to meet military demands, demonstrating remarkable flexibility and production capacity. This wartime contribution not only enhanced Dodge's prestige but also expanded their industrial base and workforce dramatically. The brothers also built one of the finest munitions plants in the nation within just 4 months, employing 8,000 workers and producing critical artillery components, underscoring their commitment to national service and industrial excellence. By 1919, Dodge Brothers Motor Company was producing over 121,000 vehicles annually, with sales grossing $161 million. These figures catapulted Dodge to the position of America's second-largest automaker, trailing only Ford. The transformation from parts supplier to industry titan in just 5 years was a spectacular feat, driven by innovative manufacturing, shrewd business strategies, and unwavering quality standards. The company's product line expanded to include a variety of commercial vehicles, catering to an increasingly diverse customer base. Dodge's brand became synonymous with durability and robustness, qualities desperately needed in a nation transitioning to mechanized transportation. This chapter captures the dizzying ascent of Dodge Brothers Motor Company, a story of ambition and adaptation that reshaped the American automotive industry. It highlights the leaps in production technology, the strategic military contracts that fortified the company during a difficult global period, and the brothers' relentless pursuit of excellence that transformed their startup into a formidable giant. Dodge's success was not merely in numbers, but in setting new standards for performance and dependability that would define the automotive landscape for generations. Amid the dizzying success and rapid expansion of the Dodge Brothers Motor Company, fate delivered a devastating blow that would change the course of the company forever. In January 1920, Both John and Horace Dodge fell victim to the global Spanish flu pandemic that was sweeping across the world with deadly consequences. The brothers attended the National Automobile Show in New York, a pivotal event for the industry, only to be struck by a severe and relentless influenza that quickly escalated to pneumonia. Despite the best medical efforts available at the time, John Dodge passed away on January 14th at the age of 55, leaving the company and the automotive world in shock. John's death was a profound loss, but the tragedy did not end there. Horace, stricken by grief and weakened by the same illness, succumbed later that year, passing away in December. The loss of both founders within the same year created an unprecedented crisis for the fledgling company. The brothers had been the driving forces behind Dodge's remarkable rise, their vision, leadership, and unyielding work ethic central to every success. Now, their absence left a void not easily filled, raising questions about the future direction and stability of the enterprise. The pandemic had claimed millions worldwide, and its impact on the Dodge family was a heartbreaking microcosm of the global tragedy. The brothers' deaths underscored the vulnerability of even the most powerful industrialists to the forces of fate. Their passing was mourned deeply throughout Detroit's business and social circles, with tributes honoring their contributions to manufacturing and American industry. The Dodge brothers' legacy, however, was far from over. Their company, built on decades of skill, innovation, and sheer determination, was poised to continue thriving despite the personal loss. This chapter illuminates the human cost behind the industrial triumph, exploring the tragic end of the Dodge brothers' journey amidst an era of uncertainty and upheaval. It highlights the resilience of the company and its employees who, inspired by the founders' example, carried forward their mission to shape the future of American automotive manufacturing and solidify the Dodge name in history. The deaths of John and Horace Dodge in 1920 marked the end of an era and the beginning of a new chapter for the Dodge Brothers Motor Company. The sudden loss of its visionary founders left the company under the stewardship of their widows, Matilda Dodge Wilson and Anna Thompson Dodge, who faced the daunting task of preserving the legacy and momentum built by their husbands. Despite the tragedy, the company was in a strong position, ranking as the second-largest American automaker, and poised to continue its remarkable ascent. The widows appointed Frederick Haynes, a trusted longtime employee, as president to guide the company through this uncertain period. Under new leadership, Dodge Brothers expanded its truck line, becoming a preeminent builder of light-duty trucks that served a wide variety of commercial and military applications. The company partnered with the Graham brothers to build truck bodies, which were then assembled on Dodge chassis, further strengthening their presence in the truck market. While passenger car development slowed, maintaining the reliable Series 116 platform, Dodge remained a formidable competitor. Yet, challenges emerged as sales began to decline, and the company slipped from 3rd to 7th place in the American market through the early 1920s. The rapid innovation pace and changing consumer tastes demanded new strategies to safely navigate the evolving industry landscape. By 1925, financial advisors recommended the sale of the company, and the widows eventually sold Dodge Brothers to the investment group Dillon, Reed and Company for an unprecedented sum of $146 million in cash, marking the largest cash transaction up to that time. This infusion of capital allowed for stabilization and set the stage for a future acquisition. In 1928, the Chrysler Corporation purchased Dodge Brothers, integrating its extensive factory and dealer network and reviving the brand's competitiveness. This move proved transformative. Dodge quickly climbed back to 7th place in industry sales within a single year, supported by Chrysler's innovative management and design. The legacy of the Dodge brothers lives on not only in the name but in the spirit of resilience, craftsmanship, and visionary entrepreneurship that define their lives. The empire they built from humble beginnings challenged industry giants, shaped manufacturing excellence, and weathered immense tragedy. Their story is a powerful reminder of how durable the dreams of two determined brothers can be, lasting beyond even their lifetimes and continuing to influence America's automotive heritage to this day.